What up, guys? Another video. This time we're talking about the GFL2 GACHA skin controversy. And after the meeting the players have with the devs, I'm happy to report that absolutely nothing is going to change. You can see right here that the translations for the meeting was done by Sia. And just to give you the short and sweet of what's happening is that GFL2 Girls Frontline 2, which is a popular gacha game, is doing a skin gacha where the skin gacha costs $130 to get the skin. You have to gacha for the skin. It's no guarantee that you'll get it with all the packs. You might have to buy a little more to guarantee it. And this put the whole community into an uproar, and they demanded, the CM players demanded to see the higher ups of Mika team, which are the creators of Girls Frontline 2. They demanded to see them, and they got a meeting this past Friday. And what came of that meeting? Absolutely nothing. As you can see here, we have a Q&A from the people that went to go to the meetings and what they discussed with the actual creators of the game. The too long didn't read. The person said it seems like the gacha banner rates aren't changing. For a quick refresher, it takes 100 pulls to hit hard pity, which costs about 12,000 tokens. So the skin remains as expensive as ever. And the platoons associations were asking for a reduced pity because those are the people that requested to see the creators, the top players in the game. And they wanted an option to buy the skin outright. But none of those requests were made. What did come of it is that there was a skin interaction in the new dorm system for a character and a skin that people already acquired. The creators thought it was a good idea to make you pay for the interactions even though you owned the skin already. They changed that and they'll allow you to get the interaction for that particular skin for free. And if there's a purple skin, not the rate up skin that's inside the gacha, you will be able to purchase that outright. That's basically all the changes that happened. I can't say I'm too surprised that they didn't back down from anything that they wanted to do when it came to the skin gacha. What they pretty much did was make it as worse as it could possibly be when they put it out, knowing that would be an uproar. Even though they kind of sucker punched their own fan base by not telling them it was a skin gacha. And then after they were purposely caught red-handed, they was like, you know what, we'll reduce the amount it takes. We'll give you more currency so you can roll on it, and we'll extend the banners. And also we won't add more skins to that banner. So that was the concessions they made, which were like not much as far as what it would take to be fairer, even though it's still complete dog crap. But I guess that's just a strategy they went with. Make it as poor as possible and then roll some stuff back / make it better with some of the already thought of precautions to relieve people of some of the stress of not getting in or having to pay a bunch of money and then be praised as heroes later after we leave it alone for enough time and people either play or quit. So that's the decision that they went with. Can't say I agree with that take, but it is their game. They're going to do whatever they want to do. People are going to quit or stay based on how they feel about that. So no big deal for them, I guess. Really disappointing to see, but what can you do? I think there's another portion of this where somebody just flat out made a too long didn't read of all the points. So we're going to check that out next. Alright guys, we have the too long didn't read of the results of the meeting, and we're just going to go ahead and read through this stuff because this is the only things that changed according to this person. This is the stuff that they discussed, which basically they did the run around with the people that went there and changed absolutely nothing. But the too long didn't read is that the character that people already own interaction is now offered for free, as I already told you, but the skin gacha is gonna stay. And then they talked about stuff that they were gonna do in the updates coming forward, like buffs in 2026, updates to the new dorm system they released in 2026, updates on other stuff soon. We have no idea what they're talking about. A new game mode, more seeing popularity stuff that global players don't care about. It says less daily quest workload for the players or other huge improvements. So cutting down on the drudge of having to log in and do all this stuff for dailies. It said devs are working on things that nobody asked for, but hopefully they're going to make the game better. They're going to add a dorm story, more overall story, which people have been asking for a long time. Even global, it's like we haven't had a story update in 3 months. People want more story. Old characters are buffed. Yes, some of the characters are dog shit or not even used, so they're going to buff the old characters. They've already been doing that. Seeing stuff improvement, nobody knows what that means. PvP rework, because one of the characters they just released, she literally just appears on the field and the PvP mode is over. Like, she just appears and it's over. So they definitely gotta fix that. More improvements and updates. They just keep saying more improvements. I guess this talk really was just nothing. Like, I don't know how they're getting away with this, but they are. Characters POV in the dorm, something nobody asked for or nobody's worried about, but yes, you want to be the characters you pulled in the dorm, so that could be cool. And then the Wild 2K, or Macchiato as she's called in the game, they were like, the reason why this went so poorly is because they didn't tell people how they were gonna deal with the interactions in the first place. Didn't tell people they were gonna sell the interactions. Didn't tell people that don't buy the skin because you won't be getting the interactions. So that was the whole point of the uproar, is that it wasn't properly told to the player base how they were gonna handle when you already had the skin and they were adding interactions. They didn't tell people how they were gonna handle that. So they were just discussing why that happened in the first place, and they'll do better next time, I'm guessing. And then people are talking about boost chips for targeted calibration to that's when you enhance your equipment so you get better stats on the attachments. Like I told you before, the skin battery duration prolonged, which really isn't gonna do anything. The skin-related changes will introduce in the next major update, so when they get a new character, preferably. And then they said that after 50 pulls in the skin gacha, noting that it takes 100 to pity, every 20 pulls will come with a significant chance at a boosted rate, so like a soft pity will be implemented, which should have been there in the first place, but the rates are so abysmal that people really gotta see what the improvements are. More reworks no one cares about, more popularity polls no one cares about, a skin for the person you play in the game, don't think anyone asked for that. The current version will last 1 more week. They had to push it back to go to this meeting where they told the player base absolutely nothing. They keep talking about reworks for dolls that people play and they're not very strong or very good, so they want to bring those dolls up to standard at least, or give them some help. They want purple dolls to become more story orientated and want them to be better. That goes along with the buffs. They want melee characters to be better in the game. Since it's a shooting game, melee characters aren't used very often, so that's a thing. More character skins, and they want people to wait for the broadcast to see more changes if there is any. All in all, I would say that this was pretty much nothing. Kind of disappointed that they would even hold this meeting and not change a single thing. Is kind of bad on their part, but what can you do? Like, this was par for the course. Anyone that thought that it was going to completely change was probably fooling themselves. But just to see where the devs' minds were at, I think is a good indicator of whether you should continue playing the game or not. Even if we knew that nothing major was going to change, it's still good to see that, if the devs have the mindset of they're going for it regardless, or if they, are really looking at the players' responses to what they're doing and are considering change. And now that we know that they are not considering change, you can make a more informed decision on whether you want to play the game or not. Me, myself, I'm just going to continue playing. Whether I'll support the game or not in the future remains to be seen. I'm kind of disappointed in Mika team, to be honest, but at the end of the day, they're going to do whatever they want to do because it's a business, and they're a complete joke of a team right now. I mean, they totally dropped the ball on this. No other thing can be said about it. Disappointed in them, but I totally understand if anyone quits the game. No hard feelings. You definitely won't be getting made fun of by me. Totally understand, but this is what they decided to do. But yeah, just giving you guys the update on the skin gacha fiasco. Take care. Peace.